The girl in the red dress. As far as I can remember, my neighbor's house was quite dilapidated. Every day when my siblings and I played in the backyard, we would always see the neighbor watering flowers in his yard. He had a small pond in his yard where he kept some ducks. Sometimes he would feed those ducks. But then, suddenly, one day all the ducks in his pond vanished. We kindly helped him search everywhere, but we couldn't even find a single duck feather. There are no wild beasts around here, at most just stray cats. But cats couldn't possibly eat that many large ducks. Around that time, my grandmother told me that recently she had been seeing a girl in a red dress walking on the neighbor's roof around 3 o'clock in the morning. At first, I didn't believe it. But strange things kept happening at the neighbor's house. Once, when my little brother and I were playing, we suddenly heard a long, drawn-out scream. When I turned and looked towards the neighbor's fence, I was terrified. What had originally been a pile of dry tree branches by the pond had now turned into a large pile of bones, stained with blood and skulls. The neighbor was standing there, frozen and silent as if nailed to the spot. When I looked back at the pile of bones, I saw maggots crawling all over it. A terrible, rotten smell wafted into my nose with the breeze. The smell was so bad it made me want to vomit. Luckily, my little brother was too short to see over the fence. He really wanted to look, but I wouldn't let him. I was afraid he would get scared. That night, I couldn't sleep at all. Lying in bed, all I could think about was the image and the smell of that pile of bones. I looked at the clock. It was 12:59. I had no desire to sleep at all. I continued to stay awake until 3 o'clock in the morning. I heard a sound of metal being knocked in the backyard. I got out of bed and went to the window, and I saw a girl in a red dress walking on the fence. Her hair was black and disheveled. Her skin was pale. From where I stood, I couldn't clearly see her eyes. As I wondered how she could walk on the fence, I noticed she had 2 extra toes on her feet, like claws. I froze in terror. I didn't know what to do. Just then, she let out a long, horrifying scream and jumped down into my backyard. She was on all fours, and with a quick turn of her neck, she looked directly at me. That's when I saw it. She had no eyes, no eyelids, nothing. Just 2 black, empty sockets. In that single second, she ran towards my window and started pounding on it. She was hitting it hard enough to break the glass. I backed away, screaming non-stop. But I don't think anyone heard me. She continued scratching and pounding, letting out a long shriek that sent chills down my spine. I was completely paralyzed. But now I could see clearly. Where her eyes should have been, they were full of sticky black liquid, and maggots were crawling in and out. The whole ordeal seemed to last only a few minutes. Then she disappeared. I felt like I could move again. I looked at the clock. It was already 4 o'clock. I had been standing there in terror for a full hour. Just as my grandmother said, she vanished exactly at 4 o'clock. I managed to climb back into bed, but I couldn't fall asleep again. I don't think I'll ever forget this night, especially that face.